everyone, welcome back to my channel, React and Chill. I'm Dika. So last time on Bleach we had the wrap up of Uryu's fight. He was able to use his lightsaber, well, the way his lightsaber, let's call it its proper name, his Seal Snyder. He was able to use that to defeat the Saruchi Espada 105, no, Premium Espada 105, and obviously, as we anticipated, she got taken up by the hit squad after her defeat for research, and Chad finally was able to become sort of like his final form. He was in battle with Guantanbine, sorry. He was in battle with Guantanbine. He was another very strong Espada, 107. And of course, he, unlike his other Premium Espadas, he was kind of using he's quite fisted. He was using his fists, and during this fight, Chad was able to establish himself and finally use the full amount of his power. But in the run up to that, when he had defeated him and he had come outside, kind of around the area where Rukia was, he unfortunately ran in with one of the actual Espadas, Nonotora, sorry, who, by the looks of it, pretty much made quick work of Chad in last time. So now here we are with 159 and 160. Oh my god, yeah.
I knew it. You're as weak as a newborn.
Shit.
Chad couldn't have been defeated. We made a vow. As we approach the crucial battlegrounds...
Yes, obviously you were aware of what happened. That fool, Noitora, got impatient. He had been under standing orders to remain in his place.
Oh, she finally got some food. We were talking about this last time. I was hoping I hope they feed her.
Now eat it.
No, I refuse.
I understand your defiance.
All I know is that Chad is not dead.
You're annoying me. I'm not here to comfort you, either physically or psychologically. I'd be angry that they were all foolish enough to sneak into Waco Mundo in the first place. Like lambs to a slaughter.
Oh shit! But Ulquiorra is a teacher's pet. He's not going to do nothing to her. He's under Aizen's orders.
If you haven't eaten any of your nutrients by then, I'll tie you down and force the food down your throat. Keep that in mind. Aren't you going to finish him off, sir? You did beat him. What good would that do? The lives of small fries are worthless. Stop!
Oh, Chad, don't get up! It must be Ichigo. He must have said, oh shit.
We're not finished yet.
Is this... Oh, his apprentice jumped in. These 100-year-olds or on-cast must realize they're fighting teenagers. Oh shit, oh my god.
Tesla, who told you to interfere?
Way this guy is going. Oh.
I am the most powerful Espada ever created!
Yeah, I think this whole ego trip that guy has is going to be his downfall in the end. Oh, it's a trap door.
What's going on here?
Oh. Are they all going to be trapdoored? Oh. Zyla Paro had his eye on Renji and Dondachaka, so
What was that
maybe
about?
it was his
That
doing,
was a
actually.
really long...
Ew, let's put it out of his ear.
My designation in the hierarchy is Espada number 8.
Okay.
Wait a minute, who's that? Is that Dondachaka?
That's Dondachaka.
Oh, it hurts! It really hurts! We're in trouble for sure! He's Waco Mundo's greatest researcher! He specializes in the development of a wide variety of spirit-based weaponry!
Believe me, I'm no threat to you. I mean, even though I'm an Espada, I'm not very good at fighting. Your patterns are very different from the ones I've already had a chance to study. I was planning to welcome you with open arms in hopes we could establish a dialogue together.
You must have me mistaken for someone else. I didn't come here so we could paint each other's toenails like it was some kind of slumber party. Bankai!
Oh shit, it went straight to Bunkai. Well, you know what, fair enough. You're not messing around here with the spiders. Oh shit. Oh my god! I didn't even... Wow. Wow. I knew he would be strong, but he one-shotted him. So this guy's real form is this is his resurrection. Yeah, that's disgusting. Gluttonarian. I knew from last time, but...
For your information, my Gluttonaria can simultaneously display the abilities of all the hollows that I've ever eaten. That means at this moment, as you stand there alone and consider fighting me, you're facing off an army of over 30,000 hollows.
Oh god. Shut the hell up! Like, shut up!
I no longer have the will to use this sword against you.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm being really critical. It's gonna break because she's lost her resolve, so...
Lieutenant Kaien. I'm truly sorry. Where are we?
Rukia's better than me. I would have cut Kaien up. The moment he turned up, he would have been dead.
This is where I trained with Kaien Shiba for the very first time. I remember every last detail. I was supposed to be concentrating so hard that I would lose sight of anything else.
Whatever, it's no big deal.
What are you doing, Lieutenant? You're not supposed to toss a sword at someone when it's unsheathed. That's dangerous!
What are you getting so upset about? Are you embarrassed just because you're hungry?
I soon discovered I didn't have the gift for sword fighting. While I was at the Spirit Technique Soul Reaper Academy, my Keto received high marks.
Whoa.
But when I joined the 13th Squad, my abilities were just average. I'm not clear. What am I defending?
You don't know what you're defending. A bunch of things, all sorts of things, everything. Have you ever heard our captain's view on life?
Not really, no.
In his opinion, there are two types of battles in this world. He says there are battles to defend your life and battles to defend your pride. That makes sense, right?
I'm sure Rukia said this to Ichigo when he was fighting that guy in the beginning, that hollow. Defend your life, battle to defend your pride, and your heart.
Please, get real.
What? I'm being serious here. Show some respect. But in my opinion, it's more a state of mind. I believe it's right here. I think a heart is created between people when they meet for the first time. A bond that's brought to life between individuals. There's nothing to worry about, Rukia. If you believe with all of your heart that you belong here, then this is where you'll stay. You must never die alone. And when we die, our bodies turn to dust and become the reishi that go on to form the Soul Society.
Oh, he was explaining some stuff. So their bodies essentially, in Soul Society terms, become the reishi that go back into the Soul Society. So maybe the Soul Society isn't necessarily heaven, or their souls, or what their bodies are formed from reishi. That's why when they need to go to the world of the living, they need a dummy. So they need that dummy form. Okay, because they need a physical body. This is not physical. This body, as he just confirmed, is made out of reishi. So when they die, it dissolves and becomes reishi that goes back into the Soul Society and, I don't know, become a building or a plant or something when it goes back into the Soul Society. So I forgot what it was called. So when they're in the world of the living, that is a representation of this reishi spiritual body. It's flesh and bones. That explains why when they're hungry, I need a new pen. That explains, because if this physical body is made out of reishi, to keep it going, they need something to fuel it. So it's essentially, in Bleach terms, the food they eat is just not to physically give them nutrients for their body to survive, because technically they could go on and without. It's literally to feed their spiritual pressure, is literally directly. I'm sure maybe we spoke about this before, but the Reishin is literally to feed their spiritual Reishin body. Just as us humans, we need food to give us strength, to give us anything, but it's literally to keep them going and for them to ability to perform and create their physical pressure.
If you entrust your heart to your friends, it will continue to live on inside them.
So technically, Kaien didn't die alone. Rukia was there, and he entrusted his heart to Rukia. Is that what he's trying to say? Oh my god. See, you're too busy laughing. You don't finish her off.
Whatever you're doing, it's a useless
She was that close to him?
Are you going to take me on with that stub of a sword?
Oh. She was that close to him the whole time? Shit. Ew.
I finally remembered where his heart resides. But Kaien lives within me. You see, I was entrusted with his heart. Farewell, Espada!
Oh. Oh, it's the other one. Still alive. Oh. Does she still have the thing in his Kaien's trident in her stomach? That sounded so wrong.
I've known loneliness. The loneliness of one who's been locked away.
Oh yeah, when she was in prison. Oh shit, it's finished. So that was episodes 159 and 160. So we kind of got a standing of where everyone was. Unfortunately, we did see what happened to poor Renji when he had bucked in with what's his name? He bucked in with Sergio Aparo Grant. I've probably pronounced that disgustingly wrong. So he was trying to say, you know, I help you, you help me, I'm not much of a fighter. And he kind of proved his point by completely destroying and overwhelming Renji by making quick work of Hio Zabimaru. We also see that even though Noyatora didn't fully kill Chad is still alive, and he was like, you know what, what's the point of me killing him? He's a weakling. Who's gonna get praise from killing a weakling? He was even ready to turn on his what was his name, Tesla, his apprentice, because his apprentice stopped Chad's final attack. So he kind of pushed him and said, don't you dare try and attack him, and he, you know, defended him. But then his crazy master was almost about to kill him. So you know what, I would say it's time for Tesla to get a new job, because I'm not going to be around Noyatora for that long. And finally, we saw at the end where it completely wrapped up Rukia's story with Kaien. There's a lot of stuff. I think there's probably a part of her that she blocked out after he had died, and how we saw that lovely oh, I've got to pause it. That lovely transition at the end, about how he talked about don't die alone, you know, your friends are where your heart is, you know, basically saying regardless of whatever happens, they're always with you. And she had remembered that. She had the opportunity to finally remember that. So even if she was with this imposter, she was able to finally use that strength to kill Arenero, finally being able to break through that mental block she had had, and I guess in other ways finally make peace with herself, like what had happened. Her she still really blames herself for what happened to Kaien. I don't. It was just not coincidence, but happenstance. You know, he even thanked you for saving him. And I think finally, she's got to a point where she's finally forgiven herself. She's able to move on, because that was always like a roadblock. And I think maybe in some ways or another, a kind of a limiter on her powers, because that was kind of in her head. But now with the lessons that he had taught her, even willing her not to die, because her friends are where her heart is, meaning she still needs to save Orihime, she was able to get that final resolve to defeat Arenero. So I think we're finally coming to sort of, Noyatora was on his way to go to the one with the highest spiritual pressure, and as we know, that is Ichigo. Ulquiorra, clearly, I don't know what, like he mentioned to Orihime, I don't know what plans Aizen has for her, but he was like, you know what, you're gonna eat this, and if I have to force it down your throat, I will force it down your throat. So there's no playing with him. And of course, what had happened to Ed and Era, they're like, you know, you promised if I'd come along with you. Again, you're starting to get a bit of a, not a personality, but you're starting to see a little bit of how Aizen really just uses and abuses you. He acts nice to you when he needs and you're kind of useful, but as you can see, I'm calling them as a pair. The other ball head was screaming and dying, saying, you know, you promised to release me from the suffering, blah blah blah. So clearly there was some sort of conversation that happened then. Aizen, do you expect him to keep his end of the bargain? Saying that, and the way Aizen works, I also try and think, well, I think Aizen would be true to his word. However, I don't think there was any sincerity behind sticking true to his word when it comes to his Espada. It's like, I feel like Aizen was just doing what he needs to do, but he doesn't really give a damn what happens to them afterwards, which is a real shame. But those are 2 good episodes, and if you did like this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.